Doctor, your new book, Feed Your Brain and Lose Your Belly. We've been hearing about bellies ever since we were children. We have our own children. We know that there are major groups of individuals in our country where they're all fat, and the children end up being all fat. Is there anything that's going on now that will help people understand this problem? You have this great book, and will help the doctors and the patients come together and looking at how to attack it?
Well, I think, first of all, it's a difficult problem, and anyone who's involved in taking care of patients who are overweight and want to lose weight will understand that in a heartbeat. And I think it might be the toughest thing I've ever gotten involved with. But I think it is a problem. I think we all know it's a problem. And in my opinion, I think our approach to that problem is ill-advised and incorrect. And let me explain what I mean. If I told you that you had gained 10 pounds and asked you what your doctor told you if you went in to ask for advice, what would he say? Well, the doctor would probably say, and I say this because most doctors would have the same response, would tell you you've got too many calories stored as fat in your body, you've got to get rid of some of them. The best way to do that is to eat less and exercise more. Now, from a conceptual perspective, if you eat fewer calories a day and you exercise each day, then the number of calories that you're maintaining within your body is decreased. That's theoretically true. The problem with that is that's what we've been told for the last 30 years, and it doesn't work. And why doesn't it work? Well, if you go in and your doctor says, okay, you're normally eating 2,500 calories, I want you to eat 1,500 calories and exercise for an hour a day, what would be the result? Well, what would happen if you made no other changes is that you would just get profoundly hungry. Because if you ate 1,500 calories and you exercised 500 of them off, that is a starvation diet. So your body is not going to be happy. And they've done studies like that, and it shows that you just get really very hungry and you don't stay on the diet. So I think that that's what happens, and that's why we're still in the middle of an obesity epidemic. I think to move forward, especially with difficult problems, you need to think outside the box. And I think that's what I was trying to do in the new book, Feed Your Brain, Lose Your Belly.
And this same program that you're talking about is a program that can work for an adult with themselves, for another adult who is close to that individual, for children in a family. And is it the kind of thing when people work as a team, whether they're needing to lose the weight or not, it comes off better and works in better than someone that's just standing out there by themselves trying to do this?
Well, let me answer that question by answering another question first, or giving you an example. As a doctor who took care of a number of children, I had patients who at age 5 or 6 developed juvenile onset diabetes. And what that means is that the pancreas, the organ that makes insulin that diabetics lack, gets inflamed and damaged, so they cannot make any insulin. It's not that they can make 90% or 80%, they're making essentially none or less than 5%. One of the things that happens with those kids, and it's what doctors look for in kids developing diabetes, is profound weight loss. Okay, now why is that important? And why is it important in the obesity epidemic? It's important because insulin controls blood sugar. We all know that. But it also is the most powerful fat storage signal in the body. If you cannot trigger insulin release and fat storage, what happens? Fat comes out of fat cells and you lose weight dramatically. Another example is, I don't know if you're a football fan, but Jay Cutler used to be quarterback for the Denver Broncos. He's now quarterback with the Chicago Bears. He developed some type of medical condition when he was with Denver. He lost about 15% of his body mass, and that was eating multiple thousands of calories a day, taking nutritional supplements, and lifting weights, which is designed to build muscle and pack weight on. In spite of all of those, he lost 15% of his weight. That was because the disease he developed was juvenile diabetes. He wasn't a child, but he developed a childhood disorder, which meant that he could make no insulin, he could store no fat, and he lost weight dramatically, even though he was trying as hard as he could to gain weight. So that's an extreme example of low insulin and the impact it has on the body. So if we eat a diet that generates low insulin levels, it's going to store less fat and it'll make weight loss that much easier for all of us. And I think that's how we have to think about diet and what is an optimal diet to eat, especially if we want to lose weight. We need to do what happened to Jay Cutler to make weight loss easy, and that is to lower insulin levels.